Welcome to I Wrote That, a podcast where we bring authors and industry experts together to talk about all things books and make the journey to authorship just a little bit easier. My name is Larissa Sowen, and I am the CEO of Next Page Publishing, a hybrid publishing house where we help entrepreneurs write books to grow their businesses. Now, I'm on a mission to help aspiring authors feel like they are in control of the publishing journey and that they are supported by a team of experts who genuinely want the best for them and their books. If you are in the very beginning of your journey, or maybe you have a manuscript that you're finished and you're not sure how to get it out into the world, I encourage you to reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net. You can schedule your free discovery call and find out how our team of experts can make your journey to being a published author easy, smooth, and successful. Now, without further ado, let's get on to our next amazing guest and make your journey to authorship a little less complicated. Welcome to another episode of I Wrote That. My name is Larissa Sowen, and I am the CEO of Next Page Publishing and the host of this incredible show. And I'm really excited to have this particular guest on because he's one of my clients, someone that I have known for, oh my gosh, like 8-9 months now that we've been working together between our two projects, between Run for Your Life, which has been incredible, and now your solo book, which is so exciting. So I want to welcome Dennis Kreba onto the show. He is an author, published best-selling author of a collaborative chapter and coming up with his own book very, very soon. He's the founder of Dennis on the Run and an advocate for making healthy life choices. I would go even further to say an advocate for those that feel like it's not possible for them and they want to see that someone else has done it in real life, in real time. As a normal human being, Dennis is as down to earth as you're going to get. So it's so incredible to have him here. After a harsh wake-up call, realizing that the pandemic had turned him into a functioning alcoholic with a high-powered job, he ended up almost losing one of his best friends due to disappointment of alcohol use. And that is so relatable. That's a wake-up call for many, many people when you're about to lose something really precious to you. You can find an excerpt on Dennis's story in Run for Your Life, Lessons Learned from Going the Distance, which was published in March of 2024. And it holds a spot in my heart, that project, because it was incredible. Dennis is writing a book on his journey called Dennis on the Run to inspire real people that they can make positive changes before hitting their version of rock bottom. Dennis on the Run is expected to be released in fall of 2024, and it's not expected, it's coming. Like, that book is like, we just pushed it to dev editing, and by the time this show comes out, it will be out. So you can find the link to his book in the show notes. Welcome, Dennis.
Thanks a lot for having me. Yeah, it's happening. It's pretty exciting. It's been a lot of work. I think we started talking together in August and started the book process in September. So it's been, for me, a long 8 months, but it's flown by. I mean, it's been a very, very quick, but very in-depth emotional process.
And we've had a lot of ups and downs in that process. And I think that's what I want to talk about during this show is what does it actually look like to write a book with a hybrid publisher, with a literary coach, with someone that's breathing down your neck saying, get the next book out, but do it really, really well, because you've come a long ways in these past 8 months. So why don't you just give us a little background as to, let's start with why you even said yes in the first place.
Yes to writing books.
Yeah, yes to me, yes to writing books. What was it that was like, okay, now's time?
Well, I mean, like, everyone grows up having dreams, and some of those are pipe dreams. They're never going to happen, or you don't think they're going to happen, and some are dreams you actively want to make happen. So writing a book was one of those pipe dreams. I'm like, well, maybe it'll happen one day. And I never really saw that when I started blogging. I just opened a blog when I turned 50 and started writing about life and started sharing my journey. And I thought that was going to be fun. I thought I'd do it for a year and try it out. And I kept going. So I've been doing that since 2022. So this is year 3 of that. And then I saw a post on an Edmonton running community for Run for Your Life, looking for runners that had stories to tell of how running impacted their life. And of course, I thought that fit me perfectly well. I had problems with drinking during COVID, and quit and used running as one of my focuses to get myself out of that and get myself fit. So That's how the journey started, was Run for Your Life. And then you and I connected, um, because my wife asked me, well, why are you writing a book for somebody else when you can write your own? And
Thank you, Paula.
that kind of started the wheels in motion of that thinking. And it wasn't long before you and I decided to do something about it.
hmm And I remember you and I went back and forth a lot because it's a big investment, right? Not just finances, but time. We knew we were committing to spending the next year together, and it's a really special bond. And I know a lot of my marketing strategies are to women, and you and I have talked about this at length, but it's women and a few good men. And Dennis, you are one of those few good men that I'm just honored to have in my life and to help you tell this story because I think it's going to go so far.
Yeah, thanks. I really appreciate our friendship and our mentorship and coaching. It goes far further than a professional relationship. I think we've both sent communications to each other with some tears, and I got one of those from you this week, which I really appreciated. So yeah, it's been amazing. I had no idea what it would be like, this relationship that we have. I did a little bit of research. Some people said, hey, just write the book on your own. And I would recommend people don't do that because this experience is amazing. And it's great to have somebody by your side helping you through it. You coach and mentor me. We talk, we email, we talk about marketing concepts in the book. Really, we've taken a casual blog that I just write for fun, and we've wrapped that into a solid, amazing book that's going to talk about how you can make life changes in your life, and start now. Like, quit waiting. If I can do it, you can do it. I mean, that's really what it's all about.
I think that's so true. It's you're working a day job. You have a wife, you have two dogs, you run marathons. Like taking this on for you was a commitment to do another thing. Golf, it's golf season again. Like these
It
things are
is.
all picking up for you. And you still were able to say, like, you are the epitome of not using time as an excuse.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure, for sure. And I mean, I have a psychologist. One of the things we always talk about is my unproductive time. So time I spend what I consider wasted, and he gives me heck for calling it wasted. It's not wasted. So like playing video games for 2 hours, it's just wasted to me. Like of just not being productive. But it's part of the flow of life, is spending time on things that you don't always have to have a goal for. But writing this book has given me purpose. It's giving me meaning. It's given me something to be productive about. And I love deadlines. I've given myself deadlines. We've talked about deadlines. I got a little bit sick this spring. That impacted me a little bit, but I just slowly worked through it the best I could. If it was an hour a day, then that's what I did. If it was 4 hours, then I did 4 hours. But
Mhm.
yeah, I've been busy with maintained the blog and increased my schedule to weekly with my blog during this process. I rolled out a new website. Like you said, I've been training for a marathon that's at the end of May, um, and um, and golf season has started. We're in May, and we're canceling more than we're golfing right now because of the spring showers. But I'm going to be busy with golf 2, 3 times a week.
Yeah, it's incredible. And I think everything that you've put into this book, you've showed up at every single turn. You've been asking questions, you've been engaged. And I know it has been scary. A lot of our coaching sessions have been talking about the mindset piece of it. And your book talks about the mindset piece. So what was it like in like imposter syndrome and doubt and fear? How did you manage some of that?
Yeah, thanks for that. That's a great question. It's a tough thing to manage when you're in the middle of it, or you're really at the start of it. I mean, you start writing a blog. I can use whatever language I want. It doesn't matter. I can hyphenate stuff. I can underline stuff. I can use weird words. And I'm really writing about me. I'm writing about my perspective a lot in my blog and sharing that out, versus, we've talked a lot about the book being for the reader. I'm talking to the reader. I'm writing my stories for them and sharing my learning lessons. And it's been hard. That's a different kind of writing than I'm used to. I'm a technical writer at work, so that's a different kind of writing as well. And I didn't even know about imposter syndrome when I started, but you sure find out about it when you're in the middle of it. The self doubt is, I mean, it can really rock you, and you wonder, can I do this? Am I doing this right? The first couple of chapters I poured out, we we had a lot of feedback, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like maybe I don't know how to write, and I laugh a little bit now because even during the editing process, the first 6 or 7 chapters took me a long, long time to edit with your feedback, and some of the discussions we had. And that just got easier and easier as I got further down the book because my writing improved. It got so much better to a point where, like, I think it's an amazing book. I'm a writer. I wrote this book. People are really going to enjoy it. Um, I think it's a masterpiece, and I'm really proud of what we've done together. Really proud, but
Yeah.
it's been hard to get there.
And it's going to keep coming. Those waves of being so incredibly proud. And then in the next 2 hours going, what am I doing? Why am I
Yeah,
doing this? Like, this doesn't make any sense. That's the life of an author, and entrepreneurship in general is there's so many dips and valleys and peaks. And I think I was honored. I know I was honored to be with you during those peaks and those valleys. Because your wife had health issues through the middle of it. You had health issues through the middle of it. There was plenty of opportunities for you to back out and say, I'm going to finish this later. And you never did. You always kept going and showing up. And I think that's what readers are going to get from your book, is that you get to choose. And you say that multiple times in your book, is you get to choose. And I know when it comes to your book, we're we're aggressive in our audience. Are you? We're targeting men, and most self-help stuff is not targeted at men. It's targeted at
yeah,
women. And so by you taking this voice, using your masculine voice, using your masculine experiences and your upbringing and all of these things that have shaped you into the man that you are today, which is a wonderful man, and showing it to the other men and the partners of these men, of like, this, we get to choose. I think it's beautiful. Attention, all aspiring authors. Are you ready to turn your book dreams into reality? Look no further than Author Allies, your ultimate companion on the journey to becoming a published author. Picture this: a membership site that offers structure, accountability, skill development, and unwavering support to bring your book ideas to life. That's exactly what Author Allies provides. Dive into weekly writing workshops where you can focus on your goals and stay motivated. Need expert advice? Our monthly Ask the Expert sessions connect you directly with industry professionals for valuable insights. Engage with fellow members through our Beta Reader Switch program, perfect for refining your manuscript before publication. Get access to a list of our verified resources so that when it's time to edit, design, and publish your book, you know where to turn. You can also enhance your craft with our writing training modules. Complete the exercises designed to elevate your skills and participate in the challenges. And as an added bonus, you can enjoy exclusive discounts on our future programs to help you streamline your publishing services. And if you're looking for a little bit more personalized advice, you will have access as a member to our one-on-one coaches to provide tailored support from our experienced professionals. Your literary dreams are within reach within our community of like-minded authors and expert guidance. Visit nextpagepublishing.net to join the membership and create a community around you and your book that guarantees your success. Let's talk about your audience a little bit. And the first thing we did when we started working together in August or September was talk about who the book is for. So now that the book is written and we're into editing, has that changed at all, or are you still targeting the same group?
yeah. I've been really wavering on this quite a bit, because it feels so weird to just target such a distinct group. And I feel bad about leaving out the rest of the world because it's such a great book, and the book has a lot of value for everyone. But I have specifically said, John is my ideal reader, and this guy is like me. He's in midlife, he's successful, and on the surface level, everything looks great. but deep down, John, aka me, has some deeper problems that he's ignoring and doesn't know how to fix that, doesn't know how to work with it, or is scared. Like status quo is so comfortable. You know, don't change, don't rock the boat, don't change things. Things are great. You know, I've got a job, I have money coming in, I support my lifestyle, I support my family. I don't want to do anything that changes that. And um, and to be honest, like it's really hard for guys to be vulnerable and honest with each other. I mean, I have some deep conversations with guys, but for the most part, you know, we talk about sports, we talk about games, we talk about you know, what's happening at work a little bit, but sometimes you just don't get to talk about what's happening in your life and your deepest problems, or in my case, that I was having an alcohol problem. I
Mhm.
really I really hid that. I just drank, and I never talked about it. And it's a shame. The number one thing I heard after Run for Your Life came out about my life was that people didn't know and they wish they did because they would have helped. And that's the cost of hiding it.
Mhm.
There's a real cost to hiding the things in your life that you're not happy with, that are holding you back. And the best thing you can do is just talk about them and reveal them and make a change to do something about it. So, you know, that starts with talking with yourself, admitting to yourself that you have issues you want to talk about, and then you can talk to other people about it.
Mhm. I think, yeah, you and I have talked about this at length at the disadvantage men are at when it comes to talking about our emotions. Women can get together over cocktails and bitch and moan at each other, but men, it's different. It feels like we've asked you to put on this face of everything's fine and it's all good and you know, don't be a baby, man up, grow a pair. These are things that we said to men when they were little. And of course, it's stuck with them. And I know as a woman who lives with a man and has a father, and I want to just hug them and say, you don't have to say that anymore. Like, I know that's what you're saying in your head. You might not be saying it out loud, but you're saying it in your head to yourself. I cannot wait to recommend your book to the men in my life that I know will need it. But that begs the other question is how do we get them to read it? So I know Dennis and I were just talking about this right before the show. So I'm going to put him on the spot a little bit here, but when you buy books for your wife, for Paula, how do you approach it's always with love, right? When we
Yeah.
recommend something, it's like I want this for you because I think it's good for you because I love you and I want to support you. So what advice do you have for the women like me who have the men? I'm listening right now. I'm saying, yep, I know exactly who this is for. How do I get them to read it? How do I get them to see that I'm not pointing out their faults or their flaws? I'm trying to say, I love you. Let's do this together.
Yeah, I mean, there's multiple ways I can approach that. I mean, the number one is to have a real conversation and just tell the person you know, you're worried for them, and tell them in love that, hey, you know, I'm worried about you. It looks like you're drinking a little too much lately. Can we talk about that? You know, that opens up a conversation, and then you can say, hey, listen, like I just read this great book, or know about this great book that talks about how you can, you know, be honest with yourself and kind of work through this, and you can introduce the book to them. I think that works great. That still leaves a choice with them, which is a little bit passive. But you know, if you're in a great relationship with somebody, then you can open up and you can hear each other and have that discussion. And I would hope that person's listening.
Mhm.
So the second thing is, you know, again, my wife and I are really close. So you're going to give this to people you're perhaps pretty close to, and you know them fairly well. So you can just have an honest conversation and say, listen, I know you're struggling with confidence right now. I know you're struggling with being self-aware right now. I know that you're really stressed and you don't know what to do. And I've got this great book that talks about, you know, how you can use meditation and use mindfulness to de-stress a little bit and, you know, be more in the moment. And I think you'd really benefit from that.
Mhm.
I think, you know, that's another way you can press one of the benefits of a book with somebody and just say, hey, listen, I know this is something maybe you wanted to work on.
Mhm.
And the third way is you just buy the book for the person and make it a gift, put it in a gift package and hope they get the message, right? And
Mhm.
hope they come back to you and say, well, like, why did you think I needed this book? And then again, you've got an opening for a conversation. So
Mhm.
I've done all three with my wife, and she's been really receptive to that. I feel like it's a little bit harder with other people, but like I would do that with golf psychology. I hang out with my golfing buddies, and if I see one of my buddies having, kind of a mental issue that I've worked through before, I have 10, 20 golf psychology books trying to work through the mental attitude of dealing with adversity on the golf course. And it's tougher than it sounds if you're a golfer, and I have no problem suggesting that. So
Mhm.
why is it so hard for me to suggest another book about dealing with your other problems in life? I think it's just hard for people to take that step. They don't want to seem judging. They don't want to seem like um, you know that they're pointing out your faults, not their own. And
Mhm.
that's where the balance comes from. And I think, like you said, you need to share it with love and concern, and have that open conversation with the person.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think there's something I do with my 6-year-old, and in a lot of cases, people that have underhanded trauma and are struggling emotionally, it usually roots back to childhood. So this, yes, it's for a 6-year-old, but pretend it's for the inner 6-year-old of the man that you're talking to as well. Um, I ask her to teach me. Like, hey, she can't read yet. So it's like, can you watch this video? And then can you, like, I have to go do dishes, but I'd really love to hear about it. Can you teach me? Can you tell me what you learned? Or can you tell me how I can apply these types of things? Like, hey, I don't have time to read this book, but I heard it's really, really good. Would you mind checking it out? And then maybe we can chat about it over coffee or something like that. And just kind of it's a little underhanded, but sometimes when we go to someone and say, "Hey, you got a problem, here's a book," they're like, "Whoa, screw you."
Yeah.
It can be a way to just soften the blow. Like this is as much for me as it is for you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe guys need to start book clubs. I don't know. I've never heard of a guys book club, so maybe I need to start a book club. But I mean, like women go to book clubs. They do that. They pick the same book and read it. Like guys
Hmm.
just don't do that.
Yeah.
They'll pass on, hey, I watched this great series on Netflix. You should watch it. Um, you know, again, like there's some areas where you'll recommend something if you've read a good fantasy book or you've read a good sci-fi book or something. But when it comes to like mental stuff, it seems like it's a little taboo. Like don't touch it, don't talk about it. I'll come to you if I have problems. You don't need to point out anything in me. You got your own problems. That seems to be a barrier for men.
It's the deflect, right? They'd rather hold up a mirror on someone else than turn it around and look at themselves.
Yeah, it's very tough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've gone through the writing process and the ups and downs. We've talked a bit about the marketing and the angle and who this book is for. Let's talk about um, everything you've done to get ready for this book, because it's been quite the journey. Not only have you been writing the book and moving into self-editing and now professional editing, you've been doing the website and the blogs, and you've been talking to media strategists and things like that. So how are you managing all of the things plus the job, the training, and the golf, and the wife, and the dogs?
Yeah, I'm busy. I'm busy for sure. I just try to get some time set aside for everything. So, like I might attend a session at lunchtime, and forego taking a lunch and just have my lunch at my desk and do that. Or I have a little bit of flexibility at work. I might take an hour off for a free session that I can get my hands on, and then just work later or start a little bit earlier. So it's nice to have that flexibility. I'm also busy at the computer almost every evening. So, between writing, managing my website, trying to get sorted with some new tools and new plugins on my website, and everything else that we do, I'm just trying to get through it a little bit at a time. I'm a big fan of to-do lists and writing things down, and I have them everywhere. So like I've got this calendar stuff that I have. I don't know if you can see this, but
Mm-hmm.
I have copious amounts of notes on these little pads that I have for everything I do. So there's one for my Etsy store, there's one for my website, there's one for a subscriber tool I'm looking at. There's one for the book. There's one for the marketing, and all of these things. I'm trying to amalgamate them into like a master priority list at the end of the day, so that I know what's highest priority for me. So really, at work, multitasking is a bad word. I don't love multitasking. I don't do two things at once, but I could be working on two blog articles back and forth a little bit. So I've got one for next week and one for the week after, or, I've got 15 draft blog posts that aren't finished. So I can pick one of those up. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to prioritize the work. And I try to get everything done that I can by about 8 o'clock at night. So I try to have some timelines. I try to set some boundaries for myself at 8 o'clock. It's time to just like get out of that mode and into relax, spend some time with my wife, watch some TV, do some other hobbies. Now with golf coming up, that's going to change a little because golf takes up a little bit more time. Mm-hmm. But really, I just spend a little bit of time every day doing the most important thing for that day and get through it.
Mm-hmm. And I think setting boundaries is really important. And you talk about that in your book a little bit about managing the various tasks that we have going on. So I'm glad to hear that 8 o'clock is your boundary time. Okay, Dennis, how can people connect with you? I mean, your book is going to be out by the time this podcast comes out. I know that. So we're going to put the link to that. We'll also put the link to Run for Your Life so people can get the snippet of your story. But how else do you want people to connect with you?
Yeah, I mean, my website's a perfect place to connect for me. It's DennisKreba.com. So just my first name, last name.com. And I just went through redevelopment of the site, a redesign using my favorite color, purple. It's out there, bright and proud. And you can subscribe there. That's where you get my blog. That's where I'm going to have any new tools, free downloads coming around for some health checklists that I have, some other things that I have coming up. That's where you can go to get on the wait list, the book will already be out by the time you see this. But I have other stuff going on there. I'm looking at some coaching, perhaps. I'm looking at some YouTube and podcasts. But my website's the number one place that you can get in touch with me. And I've got some other socials there. So I do a little bit of Instagramming, a little bit of YouTubing, a little bit of everything else.
Excellent. And my favorite question to wrap up an interview is, what advice do you have for aspiring authors?
Wow, that's a great question. Other authors, I mean, number one, trust yourself that you can do it. Find people that you can trust, that you want to work with, and start today. Don't wait. Get going today. Talk to Larissa. Talk to another author. Reach out to people. If you're scared about a book, it doesn't have to be a book. Start with a blog. Start with Facebook posts that mention something that's other than posting pictures of your dog. There's multiple ways that you can get into writing and use it in your life. And I would say just try it out, test it out, see what you like. I blogged for 2 years before I thought about writing a book. So that's 2 years worth of writing about my life without any intention of doing anything else.
Beautiful. Excellent. Thank you so much, Dennis. We'll make sure all your links are down in the show notes so people can connect with you. And I appreciate everything that we've gone through in these last 8 months. I look forward to the next few months when we get to finally hit publish on your book and it gets to be in the hands of those men that we love and support and we want the best for them. So thank you so much for all your work. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of I Wrote That. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to our show so you don't miss any of our upcoming guests. And if this has led you to some inspiration to want to get started on your own authorship journey, whether you just have an idea or you have a manuscript that you're ready to publish, reach out to us at nextpagepublishing.net and we will match you up with our team of experts to make the journey simple, easy, and smooth.